Okay?
James, you said yesterday that parents and sometimes get pushed into hockey. Is it a specific type of player? Is it technique thing? What is it that you see that?
Well, it was specifically with Bosa. You know, what I was referencing is we spent all week long talking about Bosa. Our issue ended up being the D tackles and our guards. I think our offensive tackles can still play better, but they didn't get necessarily beat. They got pushed into Christian's face. That's kind of Bosa's deal. He overpowers people. He does beat people on the edge, but he overpowers people. And Paris, that's probably the next step for him in his development. He fluctuates. I looked at Audrey because we kind of go back and forth on this. It fluctuates just under 300, right around there. So he has a tendency, as long as he has a tendency to get bull rush sometimes, and that's kind of Bosa's specialty. So I was kind of referencing the fact that we had kind of planned all week to have a plan for Bosa, and really it ended up being the two inside guys that gave us the problems.
Speaking of those weight gains and those kinds of things, how do you think some of these guys are holding up physically? Because, you know, you guys get that bye week later on this year. This is kind of the grind right now. I mean, how are they holding up?
I think pretty good. I think the strength staff does a really good job. We lift during the season, so I think that's helpful for us. I think, you know, we have an experienced training staff. We modify. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, or it was one of my things. I go to a quarterback club or whatever it is. But typically last week we started cutting practice back. Did I mention that to you guys before? So last week we cut basically, I think it was 12 minutes out of practice. So basically instead of 5-minute periods, we pick out a certain amount of periods and make them 4-minute periods. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but that helps as well. I've been places early in my career where it was the end of the season, you know, bowl season, and the practice shell had not changed. It was the same as it was week one, and I think over time you got to start cutting those things back and modifying, especially with our situation still, our depth and being young. So that helps as well, I think.
You did that last year. How does what you're doing compare? Is it the same as what you did when you scaled back last year, or is it maybe a little bit less because you have more practice back?
I think the time is probably the same, but the way we're practicing. We did a lot more jog throughs last year. We did a lot more tag offs last year in terms of our tempo, and we're able to do more thud and more full speed work, which I think is helping our offensive line and their development in the run game, because we're able to be more physical every day at practice. So it's more of those things, kind of our tempo, and those things necessarily than time.
I know you said you'd like the punters to have a SOP, standard operating procedure. It might be a little late in the season to start introducing new routines and things like that, but are they working on anything specific this week, and special teams as a whole as well? Yeah,
I think they have a routine. Joey's the guy that I'm really trying to get to be more disciplined with those things. Those guys have a routine. I still think they can be more structured. You watch the very best punters. They'll go out and walk around a field and drop the ball, go through their 3 steps and a drop, maybe 500 times at practice. I would even argue you got to be a little bit of a different guy to be able to do that for year after year after year. So it's those things. I mean, when you shank the ball out of bounds, it's typically your drop was slightly off. The nose was up, the nose was down.